There it goes. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Man, it's good to see you guys. And I am here Friday night. I know we planned the live stream last night, but just a minor family emergency. Everything's fine. But appreciate all you guys that were offering prayers and hopes and all that stuff. Everything's cool. Thank you guys. And with that, as you can tell, the topic of tonight's live stream is one all about the AR-15 and for home defense, right? Like when I launched the signature series that you see behind me here, I put out a post on my Instagram, and then somebody reached out and said, why would anybody need that for home defense? So we're going to dive into that a little bit tonight. I had a great conversation with Rob Young and Stephen Williford and my buddy Aaron Suzo on Monday. I'll be dropping that 3-hour long conversation here very soon. It's going to be pretty much a podcast, and a lot of it's going to be focused around a non-aggressive, non-confrontational type of discussion to our anti-gun brethren out there that really are looking for ways to find a solution when it comes to preventing any more loss of life on school grounds, protecting our kids, protecting the uh, future of this country, right? That's the goal. And we had a really great discussion and conversation about all of that. And for those of you that don't know, Rob Young is the survivor of one of the first, I guess you could say, school shootings that really set the precedent for gun control today. He was 6 years old at Cleveland Elementary School, where I think, if I remember correctly, 29 children were shot and 17 killed. He was one of the 29. Took a 7.62 by 39 round to the foot and a ricochet and some fragmentation to the chest that is still in him today. And he's a law enforcement officer, and he's been doing some great work out in California. And I'm happy to call him a friend. And he's extremely pro-gun. And it was very interesting to have him, a survivor, on with Stephen Williford, who stopped the evil and the mass murderer at the Sutherland Springs Church down in Texas. And Stephen Williford, of course, grabbed his AR-15, a handful of rounds, loaded them into a magazine. 8 rounds total is all he had. And he got into essentially a firefight with this guy, and he shot 6 rounds. All 6 rounds hit their target. The guy was wearing body armor, and 3 of those rounds he was able to navigate and place those shots where there wasn't body armor. And needless to say, Stephen Williford eventually pretty much won that fight. Great discussion. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys a little bit about that, and of course, release that discussion here soon. Getting back into the swing of things on my end, obviously. So, I released on Patreon Sunday's video that I'll be making public to everybody. That's currently live for YouTube monthly paid members. So thank you guys for all of your support. That video is up and live and running right now. That is steel versus ceramic body armor, thanks to the homies over at RTS Tactical, who kind of let me use their products to do this test, which is what I've been wanting to show, because I've gotten questions about body armor like, hey man, I can pick up steel plates for a fraction of the cost of ceramic. They'll last longer. Like, what's the deal? Why don't you like steel plates? And it's like, it's not that I don't like them. They'll do the job, but I just think that ceramic is far superior. And on top of that, if you are going to run steel, run a spall liner, and you'll see exactly why you want to do that on Sunday's video. All right. Now, before I start getting into the chat, really quick, big shout out and thank you to the homies over at Monadnock Firearms, who have been supporting the channel since day number 1. In fact, you're going to catch me tomorrow over at the Fitzwilliam Associated Sportsmen's Club here in New Hampshire for a Ruger and Dead Air Day. I'm pretty excited about it. So they had reps today at Monadnock Firearms that were, talking to people about their products and what makes Dead Air and Ruger so freaking cool. And of course, tomorrow is going to be the live fire demonstration. So if you're in the area or not, and you want to drive up to the Fitzwilliam Associated Sportsmen's Club, or the Sportsmen's Associated Club, I think it's the Associated Sportsmen's Club. Anyway, and shoot, some for free, do that. Why not? Who knows? Maybe you'll be convinced to buy a Dead Air suppressor or something else. Who knows? But there you have it. All right. So, so big shout out to Monadnock Firearms. And am I not in focus this entire time? Is my camera being a little retarded here? Hello? I just looked over at my screen and I noticed like it's cool. My wall looks great. I'm happy with that. So that's fine if that's in focus and I'm not. Which, by the way, talking about the wall, hold up displays. All right. So if you guys are looking to do something like this, check out Hold Up Displays, made right here in America. And if you're not a member of Gun Owners of America yet, become a member. You just should. We're doing a lot right now. Unfortunately, we did have our executive director of Gun Owners of California and one of our board members, Sam Paredes, passed away. He moved on a couple weeks ago, and that news hit pretty hard. Sam was a wonderful man, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to his funeral this past Sunday out in California, but just a wonderful guy, and he did a lot for the Second Amendment. So, honor Sam, and with that, let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. It is kind of funny how I'm like not really in focus. It's the camera's being weird and my arms aren't long enough to try to hit the autofocus on the thing. So whatever, we're just going to roll with it. All right, it's fine. You guys can just focus on what's on the background, okay? But yeah, so is it happening tonight? Don't Call Me Radio. Yes, it is. Thanks for being a monthly subscriber. Let's hopefully go. Yes, 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 we are here. Yes, everything is all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it, Jedi Knight, as well. And no, I don't think YouTube's going to kill the stream, all right? And that's just because I think their algorithm's a little jacked up. So YouTube, if you are watching this, in my original intro, what I think got the live streams canceled was there's video footage of me shooting. Obviously, it didn't occur in real time during the live stream. It did occur at some point in time, but not during the live stream. And I think the algorithm just saw that like, hey, you're shooting, so we're going to cancel this stream because you're handling a firearm when you're not supposed to be on a live stream, which is just ridiculous if you ask me, but it's okay. So I would also look at the timestamp in which they sent up the flag, and it's usually like right at the beginning of the stream where I'm handling a firearm. Again, in the intro, a pre-recorded thing. However, I would submit it for an appeal and the appeal would be denied. So somebody, or just a deeper version of the algorithm, looked at my appeals and saw that that they made the right decision to cancel the live stream, which we all watching right now, I think, would realize that's not right. But what are you going to do? All right. What are you going to do? First super chat of the night. Thank you, James. Appreciate it, man. How you doing, brother? Cheers to the family. Dig the collaboration AR. Greatly appreciate that. And also, I don't really like that font. What about I just like the default font. All right. Thank you, StreamYard. Anyway, I'm glad you like it. I am really proud of it. And that's it. Now I Form 1'd my Signature Series Mark 18, so it is an SBR, which, by the way, guys, Form 1s are coming back in like 24 hours. Wild. All right. Because I also did my PDW, which I don't have right here on screen with me. So I've got a little vertical grip on that guy, waiting for my maximum stock to come in. But yeah, 24 hours. And for those of you that don't know what form wanting is and stuff like that, you buy an AR pistol, like the PCC that you see right here. That's technically a pistol. The moment you form one it, and look, it's easy enough to do just by going to the ATF's website, eForms, doing all that. You can also do the silencer shop way if you want to spend another $50 to do it. I don't mind that, honestly, because like, hey, I'm just going to put in the basic information. You do it for me while I'm sitting here doing other work on my computer. Cool, easy enough. Silencer shop makes it super easy. Not sponsored, just saying they make it super easy. And anyway, when you form one it comes back approved, as long as you did everything right, or as long as Silencer Shop does everything right. And then you can throw a stock on it and a vertical grip, because now it's an SBR. So there you go. But it does come, the Signature Series does come with an SBA5 brace, which, if you ask me, is like the best brace that they've come out with. So that's why it's on my Signature Series. All right, so there you go. But I'm doing well, James. Thanks for asking, man. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Also, thank you, Matthew Thomas, for the super sticker. And we've got Pat, Safety Strat. Thank you for being a member, man. Thoughts on the 26X, the Fat 43X? Will I be picking one up? I don't have any thoughts on it just yet because I haven't paid it any attention whatsoever. I'm not a huge fan of like compact Glocks and things like that. They just don't really do it for me. However, I will say that the 43X feels great in the hand and I wouldn't mind experimenting more. But the 26X being the Fat 43X, I want to see. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about that. I don't know. Monadnock usually gets that stuff in pretty quick. So once Rob and the boys get one over there, I'll probably be checking it out. I'll see. I'll see. I'll look. Would I pick one up for a review? Probably. And report back? Yeah, probably. So, yeah. James, thanks, man. He's also saying it was a great video on the spall covers. So I didn't even actually use a spall liner in the comparison between a steel and a ceramic plate. I didn't really need to. Spall liners do their job. They absorb the fragmentation of, well, the projectile after it's made impact on the plate. So that's good to have because you don't want a bunch of little bleeds underneath your chin and in your crotch. So, you know what I'm saying? But there you have it. Also, it is driving me nuts a little bit, like the not being in focus thing. So maybe if I just stand a little bit further back, maybe it'll pick up at some point, or it won't. You know, I'll just stop looking at myself. Whatever. I usually do that just to make sure everything's appearing okay and I haven't lost my video or anything. But you know what? Whatever, it's fine. You guys will tell me in the chat if something's wrong anyway. But thank you, James. I appreciate that. Tanner, and people think you need 15 to 20 rounds in your carry pistol. 3 feet, 3 shots, 3 seconds. You would hope, you know? You would hope. I like capacity. I like capacity being on my side, especially when you see like a lot of these law enforcement body cam videos. Granted, a lot of the subjects that they might be getting involved with are on some crazy drugs. And they can eat 15 to 20 rounds and keep coming at you with a knife or a machete or a gun, you know? So it's like, man, I'd rather have the capacity than not. But also, shot placement is a big deal. So get out there and train. Sound good? Sound good. Cool. Country Bear Assassin just watched it. Great video. That's awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is coming. Ulysses Montes 100K giveaway is on the way. I'm building out the website as we speak. I've got the video being edited right now. I'm really excited about it. And the Monadnock Shootist will be there tomorrow. Appreciate it, man. Good to see you. Maybe I'll even bring my own dead air. That's one way to go about it. But yes, the 100K giveaway is happening. Not live just yet. You guys will know very, very soon, though. All right. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. For home defense, church defense, property defense, car defense, office defense, insert whatever is important to you. defense, talking about the AR-15, I assume. So, because that's the subject of tonight's video. Because, again, asked, why would you need that? A lot of people, for instance, if I didn't do what I do for a living, I would still, if I'm being completely honest, I would still probably have some version of this, right? It probably wouldn't look as neat on camera because it's on camera. I want it to look neat, things like that. I would probably make it a little bit more spaced out. I wouldn't have things kind of like all tight and cluttered. I'd probably have things more spaced out so it's easier to get to. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason I bring that up is because I still think I would have about the same amount as firearms. Um, Yeah, actually, I really do believe I would because I would be so involved in just, well, wanting that, collecting this, picking up that, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people think I have what I have because I do what I do, and that's not the case. I have what I have because I'm an American, and I have the availability, to 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 own this, and it's awesome. It's fun, and so when somebody asks me, why do you need any of it? Well, I, I, I don't until perhaps maybe I do need it, which I hope I never need it, but you don't know, right? So my entire idea is it's not a matter of need. Just like as we've all heard multiple times, and I'm sure it's already being typed up in the chat multiple times, it's not a bill of needs, it's a bill of rights. And don't get it twisted, the Constitution doesn't grant any rights, it affirms them. The Constitution, if it's granting anything, it's limitations on the government, not the people. So when somebody says, why would I need any of it? It's not a sense of need. It's a sense of, I want the best tool for the job that's going to be the most capable. And I don't want ever to be compromised or have to have a compromise or limit myself because somebody else is afraid of what something might look like at the end of the day. For instance, I noticed that my ducks were still out in the run late one night, so I grabbed my Signature Series Mark 18, and this was after there were bobcats out in the front yard. Now it's nighttime, and my ducks, after the sun has set, were still out in the coop. They missed the automatic door closing, so I had to go into the run, open up the door so they could go into the coop with the chickens, and they could all live, safely in the coop together for the night. And as I'm coming out of the run, and as I often do with that Surefire Turbo on there, I scan the tree line, and about 20 yards in front of me is one of the bobcats. 20, 30 yards, let's say 30 yards in front of me is one of the bobcats. Now, a lot of people will say, well, why won't you just use a 9mm pistol, shotgun, whatever else? But this I just happen to be having as, oh crap, laying in bed, bedside gun. I forgot to take care of the birds. It's already got a light on it, makes things easy enough. Go outside, and now this bobcat is staring at me, and I'm like, well, in the state of New Hampshire, they are a protected species. So I'm in a weird spot right now because he's not acting aggressive. He's just staring at me. And I can see him clear as day, and that's when the adrenaline started pumping because I'm like, I'm about to shoot this dang cat. He's really pretty. I really don't want to kill it. But if he's going to be charging at me or at my birds, then I'm lawful to kill it. And I'm just thinking to myself, while this was happening, I was thinking to myself, I'm really happy I've got my Mark 18 and not, one of my pump action shotguns, which would definitely do the job. Don't get me wrong. Within 30 yards or so, though, with buckshot, you could get a hit in there. You could definitely get a hit in there. But I think I would just be a lot more capable with an AR style rifle or pistol firearm. And I was also thinking I'm really glad I don't just have a pistol out here with me, because those cats are quick. I think I'm pretty quick too, but I just think I would rather have that. Thankfully, after making some ridiculous sounds, he scurried off into the woods, and I haven't seen him since. But this is the third encounter that I've had with a bobcat. There were two that night also, because the other one was still in the woods. But, you know, just thinking like, wow, I'm glad I had that. You know, there's some times where the intruder isn't necessarily a person. We saw it with the guy in his 11.5-inch AR with the bear in his house. 7 shots of Hornady 5.56, by the way, critical defense, killed a bear. How about that, right? So yeah, I think the AR is a fantastic platform for home defense, not just against nature's predators, but when I think about indoor usage, I do think that something like a PCC is also a really solid tool for home defense as well, for a lot of people. Again, you got capacity on your side, 9mm, depending on the round, suppressed. You don't have to worry about blowing your ears out, stuff like that, right? Like this is that's solid. But the capabilities of a 300 blackout or 5.56 projectile versus a 9mm, let's just say the rifle cartridges are going to be a little bit more effective than pistol cartridges at the end of the day. Insert 300 blackout, right? So there you go. And also the caliber itself, right? Like it's not as scary as what everybody thinks. You know, as I look around here, I had a 308. Well, I've got a couple of different ones that's going to be pretty fun to take a look at right now. All right. So while you guys are kind of looking at these, you might be looking at this guy and thinking that looks like a 308, but short. Then you have a 300 blackout. Then you have a 5.56. And I don't know where my 308 round. Oh, there it is. Went. There we go. Okay, so 308, 8.6 blackout, 300 blackout, 5.56, right? 308 is the oldest cartridge. Like, what did I do to make my camera mad? Like, it's so angry. It's just not at all wanting to focus. Piece of shit. You're on auto. Still no. All right, great. This is when I need somebody behind the camera. Kels, if you're watching, what are you doing? Can you come downstairs? Anyway, you can't really see it, but I'll move these back so you can maybe see a little bit and just get kind of an understanding of each round. So 300 blackout, fantastic. Son of a bitch, I keep trying to show the camera. It's just not going to work. Oh well. But what I was trying to show was 308 being a very popular hunting round, has been around longer than any of the other ones that you see here, and is quite frankly a fantastic round. I love this round. And a lot of the guns that are being shot today, like my bolt action here, they would say, yeah, that's fine, you know, out of that bolt action. But we would want it to shoot maybe this 5.56. And I've seen interviews with people that are just like, this bullet should not be legal. This one should. The AR15 should not be legal, but this M1 Garand should be. And it's like, Okay, well, this bullet belongs to the gun that you think should be outlawed, and then this bullet belongs to the gun that you should be legal, but this is the bullet that you want to be outlawed compared to this bullet. None of it makes sense, and that's just because ignorance, right? Ignorance can be fixed, however. So I just thought that was kind of interesting and fun. Kind of talk about that just a little bit. General Grant says, to me, a shotgun or a PCC seems like a better home defense weapon than an AR-15 because of potential for over-penetration. Oh, that being said, I've never been in a home defense situation, and I'm no expert. So what's wild is, through a lot of different tests that have been done, first of all, you have different types of projectiles. I would not recommend, M855, your 62 grain green tip 5.56 round for home defense. It literally has a steel penetrator that's there to make it more barrier blind. So that way it can pass through things like soft material, like walls, things like that, and penetrate a little bit deeper. That's its entire purpose. However, you do have open tip hollow point rounds and even have fragmentation rounds. And the 5.56 projectile, here's the interesting thing, is moving so fast that after it actually makes impact with some of these different types of materials, it starts to fragment and disintegrate quicker than, what didn't you know it, things like buckshot. Crazy, right? There's a lot of different misconceptions there. And of course, bird shots for birds. We don't use that for people. Or threats, I should say, So keep that in mind. And here's why I think a PCC is a great compromise there, because yes, you have, again, the capabilities of 9mm hollow points like these Federal HSTs that I am definitely a big fan of. Actually, these aren't the HSTs. These are the Spear Gold Dots. The Spear Gold Dots that I'm a big fan of. You load those up, you don't have to worry so much about overpenetration, things like that at all. So that's when we get into things like 300 Blackout, which I think is a fantastic, the entire reason this cartridge exists is for CQB under suppression. Makes a lot of sense there, right? So just taking all of that into consideration there. And also having never been in a home defense situation, right? Like I said, I hope I never have to be in one of these positions, but if I am, I just want the best tool available. That's all there is to it. Matthew, thank you for the super chat. PCC for home defense or full-size pistol? Okay. If it were between the two and only the two, the PCC. More points of contact, you're going to be more accurate. Most people are going to be more accurate, and it's going to be easier to get more accurate follow-up shots. Point of impact, again, shot placement is a huge deal, and it's just naturally for most people easier to get that desired point of impact with a carbine. Makes sense? That's why I think a PCC for home defense makes sense. Now, if you're looking for something that you can use, keeping budget in mind for everyday carry and home defense, then more of a semi-compact size pistol for home defense. You get what I'm saying? Because now you're using it for multiple things, and you're not like quite a few of us out there who has a home defense gun, an everyday carry gun, a I'm wearing shorts today kind of gun versus I'm wearing a thick jacket during the winter kind of gun. It is what it is. Your firearm should match your style, environment, weather. You should have multiple. Joshua, your time at Classic inspired my Mark 18 build. Awesome. Pretty much the same as your signature Mark 18. Also, we met a few years ago at SHOT Show. It was great meeting you then. Love the content you're putting out. Thank you, Joshua Gerhardson. That means a lot, man, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. And the Barefoot Gardener. I don't know what y'all are talking about. My vote for home defense is my katana. JK, I really want a 990 Mossberg. Yeah. I'm wanting to get more into the swords also. Like, my buddy Matt, he works at GOA with me. He's getting into the medieval MMA, and I've been watching that stuff, kind of like not really following it, but like watching it for several years now. And I'm like, dude, I'm only 5'9", 165 pounds. I would totally get my ass whooped, especially wearing all of that. But at the same time, I'm like, man, that would be a lot of fun, you know? A lot of fun. But anyway, I was just thinking about swords and stuff. And, you know, my wife wants to, we have a gun wall here. And then Kels wants to add a section just for like swords and stuff. And I'm like, we already got Needle from Game of Thrones. We got Sting from Lord of the Rings. We're nerds up in here. I mean, you see my lightsaber up there, Cal Kestis. Okay. It's fun though. Whatever. I'm just really excited when my kids grow up and start watching all this stuff and start becoming nerds like my wife and I. And then we already have all the cool like toys. Hey, they're gonna flip. They're gonna love it. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a really good time. Anyway, let's see here. So James is saying also it's the entire overpenetration thing, right? I believe some of the overpenetration worries people have would be remedied with better ammo choices. And you're absolutely right. Like hollow points, for instance, for sure. Agree on the font also. Okay, thanks, James. Also, Jump Master is saying that the AT4 looks gorgeous. Really appreciate that. Yep, that was one of my parting gifts from the Marines. Thanks to the guys out at 29 Palms. I also have a couple of other things too that I don't know if I'll really be able to display them, not for like legal reasons. It's just that one of them's a 155 howitzer round. And, I do know that the hold-up display is tough. And these shelves are sturdy. I think they might actually be able to hold an artillery shell. Next live stream is going to be interesting. All right. So anyway, appreciate it, Jump Master. Also, my director of operations is wanting me to put out a couple of notes out there for everybody, aka my spousal unit, aka Kelsey. We've got, yes, we are getting the details in order for the 100K giveaway, and be on the lookout because we got some really cool content coming out for night vision. It took a little bit different path than what I was expecting, but I think you guys are going to like what you see coming really, really soon also. And also, I kind of want to get y'all's opinions. This is something that she's like, yeah, these are things that we've talked about, and I'm glad she's reminding me right now because I want to pick y'all's brains also as I try to keep up with the chat as well. What do you guys think about a podcast that isn't always about the Second Amendment? Like we get into a bunch of different things, lifestyle type of stuff, just a bunch of different things, right? Like obviously my channel is all about guns and the Second Amendment, which is great and I love it. But the podcast, in addition to firearms and firearms related content, we go into all sorts of stuff, right? Take for instance, like the Sean Ryan show. He has a bunch of different, people from all over different backgrounds and stuff like that come onto his show, and then he just talks, right? And I think that's actually pretty cool. But, yeah, I kind of want to see what you guys think about that. Obviously, you're all here because we're gun guys, things like that. Or if you're not a gun person and you came here to have a open conversation, that's cool too. Obviously, we welcome that. But yeah, just some thoughts out there. Okay. Last thing too, we got more projects upcoming. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, we do. We do have some more things upcoming, guys. I'm not going to say anything right now, actually. Kels, if you're still watching, let me know if I should mention the new edition coming soon. All right, but anyway, because we're ridiculous and we love animals. But yeah, so with that being said, more projects upcoming for sure. We're going to be doing a lot of different short films and a subject of various series of videos on YouTube. One of which is we're going to be looking at doing some stuff out in Montana. Kels and I had a really awesome time out at the McGinnis Meadows Ranch, where on day one, we had an entire week of this like cowboy experience, right? It might sound corny. It might sound like just a tourist trap, like, oh, what'd you do? Just a bunch of trail rides, where if that's what you wanted to do, you could. But no, you actually learn horsemanship. It's not just, you know, pretending to be a cowboy. No, no, for sure not. It was actually doing cowboy shit. And day one, my entire life, I've probably spent maybe 2 hours in the saddle, 3 maybe. And by my last day there, I was legitimately herding cattle on the side of a mountain. Like, my horse and everything, like, giddy up, boy. We got to get onto the other side of that mountain to push this herd back this way or move them to this plot of land, whatever else it was. It was the most incredible experience, learning ground working with horses, doing all sorts of stuff. And the entire gang that they had out there, I think of Noah, I think of Dez, and I think of so many of the other wonderful just individuals that they have working out at McGinnis Meadows. And patient, extremely passionate about what they do, and their love for the animals too. Like, it was so cool. If you guys get the chance to look it up, McGinnis Meadows Ranch, take a look. Anyway, I'm looking to go back out there, right? And I'm looking to have a couple of friends join me, and we do this entire modern cowboy short film, because it's something I think a lot of people forget about, is that lifestyle is still very prevalent. It exists. And Noah's out there with a chest harness 10 mil because of, well, poachers and cougars. And no, not the cougars that you pick up at the bar. I'm talking about the cougars that are trying to eat your cattle. He's carrying a 10 mil and on his chest, and it's like, man, that's no, what else could we hook you up with, kind of thing, And man, I just thought that was really cool. But anyway, after meeting Kels and getting involved with a local therapeutic farm up here called Touchstone, I started to also fall in love with the horses, right? Like, they're such incredible animals. And I really bonded with one of them. Her name's Chance. She's a quarter horse mare. And, we've kind of talked back and forth, nothing ever really too serious, but just like, hey, if you ever want to sell her, let us know. And now it seems like, well, we might be getting her. So I'm really excited about that. And you guys will be seeing pictures of her soon. And I'm looking to have my buddy Drew Wallace help me kind of train her and myself to actually use her for some of my mounted shooting that I want to get into also. And some archery on horseback too, because that's just freaking cool. But so there's a lot that I'm wanting to get into and do. And I've obviously wanting to document it, bring you guys along, because it's like, this is America. Look at all the cool things we get to do, we can do. And yeah, go for it, man. I think that's just the American dream right there, right? Like, going from a payroll job to working at Classic Firearms to shooting guns in my backyard and making videos about the guns and things that I like, and now doing it on the back of a horse too, because why not, So yeah. That's all pretty cool. But the coolest part, though, when talking about like the American dream is like, I don't know, having my family, raising my kids. Watching them with my wife, like, dude, I'm like getting like emotional thinking about it, man. You know, and that's something too, when we go back to the AR-15 for home defense, full circle right now. Steven, Rob, Aaron, and I on our conversation, which once we release that, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. But I get, guys, I get asked a lot of questions through DMs, through comments, things like that. And some of it's like, why do you even feel the need to carry a gun, right? Like, hey, especially in the state of New Hampshire where it's like, no crime, essentially. Uh, and a lot of people say you carry a gun out of fear, paranoia, things like that. And the obvious rebuttal is I want to be prepared for whatever that situation might be. But I carry a gun and I do what I do because of love at the end of the day. My love for my life, my love for, more importantly, my family's lives, my love for my fellow countrymen, and my love for wanting to be my love for society in America. And I want to be an asset to that society, not a liability, which is why I carry a firearm and I train with it and I'm proficient with it. Because at the end of the day, it's the most useful tool to negotiate evil, negotiate against, to counter evil if and when it ever decides to rear its ugly head around me. We know it's going to happen. We just don't know if it's going to take place at the same time, same place where I'm at. And just because I carry the gun doesn't necessarily mean that I'm 100% protected either. Like, I'm not naive to think that, oh, I got a gun, I'm good. It's a lot more than that. And that's why the firearm is a lifestyle. It's a mindset. It's checking your ego at the door. And it's, again, training to be an asset, not a liability. So I carry a firearm for love, out of love. So how do I show my love? By making sure I'm carrying the most capable thing I can. And what am I going to protect my family with? Which I love. With the most capable tool. It's an investment. And that's why I think the AR-15 is great for home defense. It's easy to use, low recoil. And if you get them short-barreled ones, or an AR pistol, it's easier to maneuver indoors. So, a little bit of a rant, a little bit of a talk. I feel like sometimes I use my live streams to like a video journal when I talk to you guys. I don't know. What is this word? Need, right? Do I still carry the 365 Legion? I do, but it's kind of fallen to like not my primary carry. My primary carry now is, I'm looking at it because it's always nearby. It's actually my Bull Armory Ultralight. And I really like that gun. Really like Bull Armory. God bless America. Yes. Joker, good to see you. Clint, what do you think about Glock calling for gun control? So I should have done a little bit more research on that. I saw something, I think that Jared put out there, Guns and Gadgets. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't done enough research into it to really make out what's actually happening right now. If they're actually calling for any type of gun control, like legitimate gun control, then obviously Glock should get like slapped across the face. And no, disagree. No, don't do that. Like, what are you talking about? Do you make a good product? Is it a quality product? Yes. But do your politics suck? Yeah. Right. We'll see about that. So I need to do a little bit more research on that before I make an official statement on that. I will say though, you want to talk about this, I could probably have an entire stream dedicated to what I'm about to bring up right now. The Trump admin saw on Instagram, so it's got to be true. The Trump admin considering revoking gun rights, the Second Amendment, essentially, to the trans community. Because there's a lot of arguments to be made there. A lot. Mental health being a main concern, things like that, right? The problem is, I don't stand for any type of regulation or gun control. And, you know, I disagree with it. I do not think that, because look, I can't say that I deeply know any gender confused individual, but I still think that they should have a right to defend themselves. Now, the mental health side of things, taking a look at statistics within that community, if that's what we're going to call it, there's quite a bit to be said there as well. When you take a look about unaliving themselves, things like that. But there's also been plenty of people that have made the transition and seem to be doing just fine. Why should those individuals be stripped of their right to self-defense? Yeah, I just don't agree with any gun regulation. I can't. It's sorry. It could be for a complete demographic you don't agree with, dislike, can't stand, whatever, does not matter. They're still people. So, interesting topic. This ought to be an interesting conversation. So let's get into that, right? But first and foremost, I know it's been a minute since I've taken a look at a couple of chats. So let's see here. Yeah, the M1 Grand being the greatest was it the warfighting implement, or was it the greatest battle implement ever devised? Something along those lines that Patton wrote. Yes, in just awesome. Let me see. I think a couple more super chats came in over here. James, we all know Kelsey is the boss. So there's no denying that. For the nods, thank you. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Shockwave and short shell slugs. That's a tongue twister. Shockwave and short shell slugs. So the Shockwave is essentially a short-barreled firearm, we'll call it. But if you take a look at this Mossberg 590 A1 that you see right there, that is a law enforcement trade-in short-barreled shotgun with that Surefire LED built into the foreend. Yeah. Yeah, that thing's cool. That thing's really cool. Monadnock got a couple of those in, and I'm like, well, that needs to find its way on the wall. So there that is. James, let's see. I just started at MGS, and researching more firearms is making me want to collect once I am done with the class. Watching a Remington Rand 1911 on auction right now. That's really cool, man. Thank you. Warhammers are awesome too. As previous SCA Armored Fighter, it's fun. Going back to the night stuff. Yeah. And that's what I mentioned too at one point, was the frangible ammunition. All right. We want survival and tactics. That could be a lot of fun for sure. The Unsub podcast. Yes. They are great. Ducks are greater than politics. Yes. UFO, weather, government. Oh man. So we want like a big like conspiracy theory podcast, which honestly I'd be 110% down to do. I think Kels would like to do the UFO one, like I'll just, she can sit in on that one and take the show on that. Oh man. Growing your own food, which we've been doing now for a couple months. We've got a lot of cucumbers, quite a bit of squash, quite a bit of peppers, green peppers, and way too much kale. Kels, we got to cut back on the kale. Um, so yeah, and storm chasing. Yeah, she said storm chasing would be a lot of fun too. That, yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Jerry is saying we are mostly like-minded. I think it would be good talking about different um, topics for the podcast. I think so also. Let's talk about war stories. I'd be more than happy to have people on. I don't have any war stories, so I'd be happy to have people on that do if they are comfortable sharing all that type of stuff. I am not getting a pet camel. They are funny. I haven't been to Morocco, seen them up close and everything. They are goofy looking animals, that's for sure. Nadnock shoot is horseback shooting like Ruger puts on. Yes, yes, that's what Drew Wallace does. Look him up, the Ranger Cowboy. I'll have him on the channel before too long too. With the Bobcat, have you thought about getting some cherry bomb firecrackers to see if it makes them run away? Me yelling at them made them run away. Firecrackers, that's that's a whole different thing. It's like taking the time to light it, throw it, and then have to carry a lighter and those. It'd just be easy to carry a gun, and most people might not agree with this, but I mean, hell, shooting around into the ground right next to me, if I see him standing off in the distance, maybe, but warning shots are whack. That's how I feel about that, but there you go. Uh, Tattooed Mexican, what's up, man? Hey, Clint, I used your code at Alpha Mega Holsters, and to be honest, the holster is good, just not worth the wait of 32 days, but it'll do. Just won't be ordering from them again. Sorry to hear that, man. So I love Alpha Mega. I think they make great stuff. I get that, the wait time can be, sometimes a nuisance, but, talk with Eric. Also, give some feedback, if you think it's good, just not worth the wait. Well, what's not worth it at the end of the day, right? Um, so yeah, it could just be one of those things where it's like you're not happy about the price after you finally got it and had to wait. But check the quality, right? Make sure that thing's in there, and I don't know, train with it, practice with it, see what you think, really. Put it under its paces. I've used a lot of Alpha Mega Kydex products, and I will continue to because they just make, in my opinion, a damn good product. So, yeah, just let me know what kind of feedback you would be willing to give them. In fact, you can email, we got a couple of different emails in, but you could email magdumpmorgan@gmail.com and throw in some feedback there, and I can pass that along to Eric. All right. Or you can drop it here in the chat too, and if I miss it, shoot an email. Joshua, good to see you again. Do you still have a discount code for hold up displays? Wife and I are building a new house and I want to upgrade the gun room. That is super cool. It was, and Kelsey, she's putting more topics for the podcast, which there's a guy up here that's local, Kels, and I've talked to him. I met him at Monadnock Firearms, actually, who does the Bigfoot chasing. She's like, Bigfoot, horses, wellness, storm chasing. And that would be a lot of fun. But it was Tyler at holdupdisplays.com. Email Tyler at holdupdisplays.com. Let him know that Clint sent you. They might hook you up. All right. They might hook you up. So there you go. But let's see here. City Slickers, that's funny. Talking about like sounds like the movie City Slickers, everything that's going on. Yeah. Let's see here. General Grant, are you aware of the late Paul Harrell's self-defense story? I'm not. He was at a campsite in Oregon when a man tried to run his wife over with a truck. He shot the man to death and was acquitted. Was not aware of that. No, I'll have to check that one out. JC, I hooked up with a bridesmaid in 2002 that was a horse trainer. Changed my life. That's funny. Chinese supremacy. Supremacy. Yeah, if I could speak. I know a lot of cougars at the bar that would shank you in the parking lot on a meat raffle night. Wait to find out where the meat comes from. Good Lord. Jerry Brooks, working horseback is cool. Doing cowboy shit is not. I don't claim to be a cowboy, but I roped in rodeo a few years ago. Yeah, I'm not looking to do like rodeo and all that type of stuff. Um, I am looking to do quite a bit of riding. I'm looking to getting kids on the horse because that's always super cool. Our neighbors next door have a couple of ponies, and my daughter, she loves animals, and she immediately hopped on the back of one of their ponies and just was right in a position, had her little hands on the freaking reins, and just was right there, just doing her thing. My son was like, "This isn't a car." It's so funny. There are only two. It's so funny just how like boy girl immediately gravitates towards cars, swords, anything that's like, oh. And then my daughter's like horses, cats, dogs, anything and everything animals. It's pretty awesome to see. Um, let's see here. Big sidearm if you're hunting in the mountains. Yes, for sure. Meet the targets. Pick one and walk away from it all behind you. Which one would it be? Pick one and walk away from it all behind you. Which one would it be? Are you saying like out of everything behind me, pick one? I'm assuming you're just saying pick one gun, leave everything else behind. Which would it be? Um, it would be this one, that M1 carbine, because that's the one that started it for me. That's the first rifle I ever shot at 7 years of age with my dad. So if it weren't for the sentimental value, um, if I had to only pick one out of everything, it would probably be my Mark 12. Well, which Mark 12? Probably be that Mark 12 because I feel like it's extremely versatile, and I look at it as, in my mind, the perfect gun to bridge new shooters that you could train up on and also still make pretty solid impacts on target out to 700 yards effective. Um, so, yeah, there's your answer. And that is rough. Just throwing it out there. Cowboy Clint, let's freaking go. Brett, good to see you. Montana is a dream trip for me. Kids get grown, might pick up and head out that way, either there or North Maine. Well, if you head up to Maine, you'll be a little bit closer to me, and I don't know, we could shoot or something, right? So there you go. Let's see here. Monadnock Shoot, it's good to see you again, man. Weird, best state in the Northeast for firearms. We had the lowest crime, huh? It is funny when you think about New Hampshire being the least restrictive, in New England, which is wild when you think about it, Northeast, when you think about it, wild, that New Hampshire has the least restrictive gun laws in all of the country. We got constitutional carry. It's easier, it's more affordable to buy guns here because we have no income or sales tax. And on top of all that, we also have the most machine gun ownership per capita in all of the country. And we are consistently number one in the least crime of all the United States. Sometimes number two. Those are some of my favorite statistics. Like, it's pretty wild, right? So, there you go. Clint for president 2026. Oh, goodness. You know, politics never seems like a fun path to go down, that's for sure. I was talking to Brandon behind the stage, congratulating him just before he went out on stage to announce that he was running to Congress, because we were just talking a little bit, and I said, "Congratulations, man!" And he's like, "Man," he's like, "Oh, you could just tell." It's like, "Yep, he knew what he was doing. He knew he was prepared for it all over again." But damn, getting into politics is wild. And then that piece of shit, that coward, drops his name in a video, you know, after doing what he did in Minneapolis. Wild, 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 wild. So, slippery slope isn't a fallacy when it comes to guns. So here, let's talking about that. So here we go. Slippery slope isn't a fallacy when it comes to guns, because if it can go towards one demographic, one set of individuals, you're absolutely right. Who's to say it's going to be limited from there? All right, James. Anybody and everybody except felons. I disagree. I believe felons should get their rights back. And there's a caveat, naturally, because it's one of those things where everybody's met with, oh, so you think murderers and rapists should get their gun rights back? What are you, crazy? It's like, no, I think they should still be in prison or dead. So, yeah, because, hi, I might know a felon or two, and the charges that they had brought against them seem okay. So you were selling marijuana. Like, so you were caught with paraphernalia and intent to distribute whatever it is. And you get like 2 or 3 years for that. It's like, and now you're what, a second class citizen, and you're not granted. No, I'm sorry. If you're considered safe to be in society, then you as an American should have all your rights granted to you. And who's to say you can't have your rights granted to you? That sounds wild to me. So I don't agree with that statement as it stands. But I do not believe, like I said, murderers, rapists, child molesters, anybody like that, they shouldn't exist in society or at all. I don't think the community as a whole should have their 2A rights taken away, just the ones heavily medicated. And there's something to be said there about the type of drugs that you might be taking. And this is where it starts getting weird. Well, it's already weird, but it gets weirder because I think about some people that might be taking like antidepressants, things like that. Who knows what other type of drugs, what are the SSRIs and everything else. So much stuff that changes the chemical of the brain. It's doctors. I would like to get doctors on my podcast, on my roundtable discussion. Like different doctors about that type of stuff. Because I'd like to learn more about some of the medications that they're prescribing, what it does to the brain. Be interesting. Don't like it. We have laws already for that. I should have a right to defend against. I have had a conversation with my lefty gay cousin about that, and I moved him to our side of bans on firearms is wrong just because of being a part of a certain group. Well done, James. That's excellent. They should, and not involving kids. All right, Hook. Until they are adjudicated, it doesn't matter. Hook, start asking, is 4 gun tubers running the same line? Running the same line. Can you specify what you're talking about here? Anyway, I will not participate in these delusional fantasies. And JC, maybe I should pay attention to the chat a little bit more while I'm talking about whatever the discussion might be. It's more so that if they pass something like that, it will be a domino effect for more things to pass. So again, it's exactly that entire slippery slope. And Pew Pew Daily, good to see you, man. How you been? It's been too long, bro. I hope to see you soon, man. Hey, if you're not doing anything, Pew Pew Daily, tomorrow, you should come up to Fitzwilliam, New Hampshire, and come shoot with us on Ruger and Dead Air. All right, all right. To me, it's a hard moral dilemma. These people have proved time and time again that they want people like us dead. It's hard for me to support people that deranged having equivalent weapon that deranged having equivalent weapons to us. Well, it's the Second Amendment. The First Amendment, hey, they can say things you don't like. Second Amendment, those you don't like that are saying the things you don't like also have the right to own the firearm. So, again, just be better trained and better equipped than them. Let's see here. The government should have the power to decide which groups. That's a joke, right? Hold on. Time out. Traveler 1970 said, the government should have the power to decide which groups are allowed rights. I'm going to take that as you're joking right now. Okay, thank you for clarifying. I was going to say, wait a minute. Oh, man. But you're absolutely right. It's very complicated. I go back and forth. There's so many layers of things like this. No one has the answer. You're absolutely right, man. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. But let's continue on here. Terrence, need to add a line to the background check to ask if you are a user of hormone blockers or other prescription meds to alter your body. Just like how they ask if you use/smoke the greens. Interesting. Tanner, cucumbers and radishes grew like crazy this year. A lot of heat and rain. That's I think probably it. And it's really funny. I thought you were making like a joke. As soon as you started talking about cucumbers, but then I realized we were just going back to the garden topic. So, oh man. For other topics about the podcast, can get down with the storm chasing. That stuff always just is awesome. If you ask me, like the hurricane chasers, it's wild. Again, having been just excited about aviation ever since I was a kid, watching these guys in C-130s fly into a hurricane and into the eye of the hurricane and actually get like some of that footage, but they won't fly into a thunderstorm because the winds are so unpredictable versus a hurricane, which is very predictable. Blows my mind. It's crazy, right? But anyway, it's funny, by the way, that you should mention that. What is your take on every town for gun safety doing firearms training? Guess who's taking the courses? Well, as I say, maybe I shouldn't say who's taking the courses. But you know what? It's fine. I'm obviously going to take them because I'm curious. Is what they are teaching or instructing, is it solid? Is it safe? Is it all probably some sort of backdoor way of trying to push something for gun control? Absolutely. It's every town for gun safety. Which the name of itself sounds respectable, right? Every town for gun safety, of course, right? It's common sense. And then you get into it, and what they're actually doing is misleading a lot of people. Like, I'm pretty sure every town is also the same, and the only entity that's come out and said, actually, only 10% of mass murder takes place in gun-free zones. While there's entities that I have found on the lesser side being 82%, on the highest side 98%, what I have been seeing more accurately and more commonly used is 94% of these atrocities happen in gun-free zones. somehow, and if I can pull up the link to where I saw that, I'll do that and drop that in the comment section after the live stream, or I'll kind of look for it really quick while I am talking. But I think it was Everytown that said 10%, which just really blew my mind. Let's see. Yeah, mass shootings in gun-free zones from as low as 10%. Where did that one come from? When I was taking my notes. Everytown, 2017. Definition and period, 133 mass shootings between 2009 2016. Percentage in gun-free zones, 10%. They also have a broader definition of mass shootings. So they have their own definition, which the CPRC says 97.8% in gun-free zones. So again, like, but to say 10%, 10%, crazy. Where? Crazy. Blows my mind. Country Bear Assassin, can't stop thinking about the podcast idea. Do it. I haven't listened to a podcast yet, but if you do one, I will check it out. That means a lot. Thank you so much. I actually find myself listening to podcasts on long road trips more than music now. You know, I usually jam out pretty good in my car sometimes. You know, I'm a concert of one for one in my own car. And, you know, but I really am. I like to listen to a lot of different podcasts, actually. So there you go. Also, I think Kels, guys, I don't know, she says she wants me to get out there, you know, chasing storms for content, like in the storm chasing idea. All right. Is there a way to do a poll and I just don't know how to like do it because I'm a dweeb when it comes to StreamYard, I guess. But I was just thinking, like, we need to put a poll out there. Does Kels want me to go storm chasing for content or hopes to get rid of me? You know, like, we've only been married since March, all right? Like, I can't imagine she's ready to get rid of me just yet, but I do think the storm chasing would be pretty fun, though, especially if I get, like, the trucks that, like, Glenn Powell was driving in Twisters, you know, that, yeah. That's cool. Oh, man. Bill Beam, Simplify, dude. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see here. Joshua is saying I've ordered a couple holsters from Alpha Omega now. Really like their stuff. Much better fitment for most of my holsters. That's great. By the way, Alpha Omega Kydex, code MagDump. EOTech, same thing, code MagDump. Trauma Pack, same thing, code MagDump. What else? I don't know. Whatever. If you guys are looking to save money somewhere, yeah, I got a couple of those things. They're all on my Instagram. Check them out. But let's see. JC saying horses are a gift from heaven. You know, it is funny. Like I said, I've been around horses, but not like a lot of my life like Kelsey has. She grew up with horses, stuff like that. She was a hunter jumper, doing all that kind of stuff. And after I started working with them a little bit, not in Montana, but definitely after Montana, but at Touchstone Farms here in New Hampshire, it's like a therapeutic thing. You know, they're taking care of the horses. They're working with people like veterans, like the Red Sox home base, their veteran outreach program. They would get veterans that are going through PTSD, things like that, or suffering through it, or whatever else it might be. And one of their stops is at Touchstone, and they would let these veterans work with the horses, things like that. So it's therapy based, you know, disabled children, stuff like that. It's a really honorable thing that they're doing over there. But I met Chance, this horse, and, you know, there was that bond, that connection. It just happened, right? Like it was strange in a good way. But I picked up, you know, a bunch of hay, was hand feeding her. She was really sweet. in one of my lessons, because I did take a couple of lessons over there, they asked like, hey, we haven't used her for a lesson yet. She's a 7-year-old quarter horse, like, but she's kind of iffy with some people. I'm like, what? Iffy? Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, I'll ride her. She seems cool. And that was the first horse that I ever trotted, and I was the first student that she ever let trot. And so that was really cool. And then afterwards, I'm hand feeding her, and it's like, oh, we don't hand feed her because she's bitten people. I'm like, well, oh. So yeah, horses are they're definitely growing on me more and more and more, because the more time that I spend with them and things like that, they're just incredible. So I'm really excited about all that. Um, Really quick, we got a couple more super chats that came through here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Kryptonian, thoughts on the PSA Saber AK release today? We will see. PSA's been doing some pretty cool stuff. I know they've got their reputation and everything, but I got to tell you, I really respect PSA for just kind of listening to their audience and just doing what their audience wants them to do for the most part, right? Like, pretty cool. I can understand how, local gun shops, smaller gun shops, how PSA can be hard on them for sure. So that's the one thing. Jedi Knight Herrera Morgan 2028. That would be something. That would be something, right? And yes, guys, get out there, get the message out for Brandon Herrera in Texas to District 23 for sure. Let's see here. And going back to James, well, to be specific, I'd say a felony involving assault with weapons, things like that. Yeah, it's kind of like, well, if you did it before, but at the same time, I'm like, if we can't trust them with their rights in society, then we just can't trust them, and they shouldn't be out in society, in public. That's all there is to it. And yeah. Have I tried the Daniel Defense PCC 9mm? If so, what are your thoughts? Yes, I have it, and I think it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's a great little PCC. I will say it's pretty pricey. I was a little disappointed with its price point and it still being direct blowback. However, with the hydraulic buffer, that's pretty nice. That does a good job. I love the fact that it takes CZ Scorpion magazines. I have not had any issue with the Scorpion mags that I run through it, which are all Magpul. And it ran the D60 with an FRT like a champ, just awesome. And yeah, I'm a really big fan of the PCC. Daniel Defense did a really good job with that gun. So, totally agree with you, Clint, on nonviolence felons should still have their rights. Look at FPS Russia. Totally a good guy that lost his right to bear arms. And that, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. I hate that for him, too. James, have a drink on me, brother. I got your 6, but have to cheers to the Air Force A-10. Yeah, man, the A-10. What a wonderful plane. Awesome plane. And thank you. Cheers to you as well. My wife has MS and did equine therapy years ago. She loved it. That's awesome. And that's what that is. Yeah, equine therapy. That's all Touchstone does, and it's amazing. Really cool stuff. Let's see here. I'm Bodie Bodes Schuler. What do you look for in a man? Well, I want him to be reliable, trustworthy, funny, dark sense of humor, and laid back, easygoing. Can't have these guys that are too quick to be offended. No. Yeah, if you want to be my friend, that's pretty much all it takes. There you go. And if you're not a good shot, that's okay. We can shoot together at the range. There you go. It's simple. I don't know why the politicians haven't tried it yet. They can just make murder illegal, and that will solve the whole problem. You can count on one hand how many trans were shooters. There's actually been quite a few, maybe 2 hands. Let's see here. How about docs asking if I have guns? Yeah, now that's a whole different thing. Doctors don't need to know that crap. Don't need to know that. Oh, I see, Carl Huckabee. We do know the highest demographic is white males. So are we talking about mass shootings? So when you take a look at, again, per capita kind of thing, right? Dominant race in the United States, makes sense that you would have more of that demographic doing that crime. But you take a look at, well, different areas of the country, you'll probably start to see too that actually, I think that this statement, the highest demographic is white males, of being like mass shooters, that's typically what's mostly publicized. But if you take a look at most just crime day on, like, not a mass school shooting, right? Something like that. We're talking like, how about just how many people are shot and killed in the streets of Chicago every single day, and elsewhere and everywhere else in the country? And you'll start to see like, oh, well, yeah, if you're taking a look at just school shootings, that's fine. But if you take a look at just mass shootings in general, I think you'll start to see a lot of different outcomes there. Every town lies and fearmongers. I don't disagree with that. And gun-free zones, criminals equate to soft targets, and that is more like 90% happen there, not 10%. You're absolutely right. When I was talking with Steven, the reason that the church shooter actually went to Sutherland Springs Church to carry out his evil was because the first church that he went to noticed that they had 2 armed police officers at the door. Sutherland Springs Church did not. Something to be said about just presence. And there you go. James, she knows your SGLI ends when you separated, right? Maybe she doesn't. I don't know. That's funny. 1 for content, 2 to get rid of you. Going back to the go to the storm chasing, all that type of stuff. Man, that's funny. Oh man, I volunteer also to go storm chasing. It's on my bucket list to do for an entire storm season. That would be something, you know. I can imagine just like what kind of thrill that would be. Let's see here. Solo Gordo, good to see you again, man. Thank you for the super chat. I need some homies in the chat to play Battlefield 6 with me in October. What's your gamer tag, Clint? My PS5 gamer tag is my YouTube name. Yo, I am really looking forward to Battlefield 6. I know my wife isn't, because I'm sure she's not looking forward to hearing me in the middle of the night calling out some 10-year-old for just absolutely eviscerating me. But I think a night of gaming during a live stream would be a lot of fun with the homies in the chat. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. Oh, that's funny. What do I look for in a man? Proven reliable glue. That was a strange question. But you know, hey, I answered it, so there you go. Let's see here. The highest demographic in the US is white males. I mean, that's what I was kind of getting at too. Yep. YouTube won't let me send a super chat. Anyway, what's up, brother? That's all right. Thank you though. I really appreciate it. Oh, that's a question. A difficult question. LWRC piston versus HK piston ARs. Well, I own an LWRC piston. I also own an LMT piston. I don't own an HK piston. I mean, I want an HK, you know, because that's like I said, I have an LMT piston, I have an LWRC piston. I don't have an HK piston. Um, HKs they run, they're great, they do a good job, but so does LWRC. But if I were to choose between one or the other, I'd probably. I just hate that HK just kind of like neuters their guns. Thanks, Deutschland. Um, if I could get the HK that I want, then I'd go HK piston. But if I'm going to be getting what I can get, it's going to be LWRC. Does that make sense? So there you go. Battlefield 1 was incredible, by the way. That was one of my favorite games of all time. So there you go. And how long have we been going? About an hour and 25. Sounds good. And it's just Jake Boxer. Good to see you, man. It's just a crying shame our schools and churches need armed guard protection. Um, yeah, it's a shame. But at the same time, it's the world we live in. Like I said, evil exists. It's always going to exist. It has existed in some form or fashion. But don't let this distract you from the fact that um, my mind straight goes into, Hector is going to be running. But anyway, don't let that distract you from our schools and our churches need armed protection. Yes. But take a look throughout the course of history. Who has been the number one killer of people? Government. Don't let that, don't forget that. Because a lot of people will say, it's terrible, it's sad, if there's anything we can do to, keep guns out of crazy people's hands, then it's always going to come down to keeping guns out of our hands. And who defines what's crazy at the end of the day, right? So with that, just keep in mind that millions and millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people have been exterminated at the hands of their very own government. Okay? Just, all right? Look at Russia way before the Holocaust, with a whole lot more killed. Just take a look. And China, and so many others. It just keeps on going. It's ridiculous. Now, is it a shame that we need armed protection? Sure, but at the same time, I think this is a lot of what we talked about in the discussion on Monday. For less than one payment to Ukraine or Israel, we could easily outfit our schools with armed protection. Just saying. Just gonna throw out there. LMT better than both, than HK and LWRC. I don't know, man. I really do love my Rahi. It's the Estonian Defense reference rifle. Awesome gun. I do like LMT a lot. LWRC also makes a really good gun. Can you guys see that one? It's right down there. Over there. That's a 300 blackout guy. Yeah. That's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. Bud Guy 8829, what's your opinion on the PSA Jackal? Again, I think it's cool. I don't have a lot of experience with it though, but I do think it's cool. So there you go. Oh man, Jumpmaster 2A brothers, good night to all. It's time for my power nap. You go get it, man. And I do think we're gonna start winding down here. Anyway, it's been an hour and a half, and I want to go hang out with the wifey here in just a little bit. So let's see here. JC, we were born into a holy war, and now we know that we are older. Stay prayed up. Other countries stop the practice of open religion. They also see schools as easy targets for trafficking children. Yeah, I don't like the idea of, again, I mean, this entire country was founded on freedom of religion and everything. Like, I just don't don't want, it's, again, when you when you live with freedom, it's going to be dangerous. That's all there is to it. Dangerous freedom, right? And that's just it, because the will of man, if you allow freedom, you allow the will of man, and the will of man can sometimes be evil. And how do you fight that evil? You overcome it with a greater tool, with greater mindset, with greater practices, with greatness. So get training, and don't let government limit you. Don't let anything limit you, actually. Don't let your own mind limit you. Get out there, get trained, go do some stuff. Let's see here. And go to church. If you want to practice your religion, whatever that might be, do it. Shouldn't be afraid to do anything you want to in this country. That's how terrorism, that's how evil wins at the end of the day. If you want to go practice your religion, you want to go play sports out somewhere other than your backyard, whatever, you want to go to the range, do it. And yes, absolutely, Jesus is alive. The Barefoot Gardener. You should hear my grandma's World War II stories. Absolutely heartbreaking why I trained to be a protector. That's pretty interesting. So you want to be on a podcast? Kryptonian. You should read up on the Changing World Order by Ray Dalio. I'll look into it. Clint just built an HK Brownells 416. I mean, there is that option there. JC, thank you, brother. Great show. God bless you and the family. God bless America. Let's see. Yes, the AR is an awesome platform for home defense. Thank you. Clint, could you read my comment? I've reposted it a few times. Well, this is the one that I'm reading. I saw it. I don't look like, I don't mean to sound like a douchebag here, but super chats show up nice and bright. If you're a monthly member, I see those. If you repost it sometimes, I don't get to all the comments. I make a point to get to all the super chats and things like that, because you guys are paying your hard-earned money for me to do that. So yeah, that's good. You picked up what I was putting down. I'm trying to go back through and see it. Well, I read the one, if you kept talking about, are you a Paul Harrell? Well, okay. So yeah, so I read the other one I thought you were talking about Paul Harrell and the defense comment that you made before. Yes, I am very aware of Paul and his YouTube channel, and RIP Paul. Not a lot of gun tubers don't ever mention him, despite the fact that he had 1.4 at the time of his death last September. So, in complete fairness, thankfully, there are a couple of YouTube channels that really pushed for him to get over 1 million subscribers before his passing, which was coming on, and really were able to get out there and do that. He was interviewed a couple of different times. You guys saw him like on Grantham channel, things like that. And Paul Harrell's been around for a very long time. Incredible shooter, incredible man. And he was definitely an inspiration behind, a part of inspiration behind me starting my own channel and things like that. I mean, he's just an absolute legend. And so, and I think a lot of his teachings are definitely still referenced today as well. So I see quite a few gun tubers mention him. But that's just because maybe the people I follow are more in line with his style, I guess. But yeah, so that's that, but I still agree with you, though. I still don't think he's getting the recognition he deserves. I don't think he got the recognition he deserved while he was still with us here on Earth either. But now that he's moved on, his legacy, I think, is still going to continue to live on for sure. And absolutely, Paul was one of the great ones, and yes, freaking loved him, and I wish we still had him as well. I shortened mine, then added a Sharps Bros Badlands to bring it to 9-inch barrel. I wanted to lose a little velocity for home gun. Ended up being way too loud. A 9-inch, Well, okay. So, all right. I'm not even gonna make fun of it, right? Because, hey, just a 1.3 inches later, you'd have a Mark 18, right? And I totally get, but if you're gonna, I look at it like, look, the Mark 18 short, okay, for a 5.56 gun. That's all there is to it. But if you want something truly for home defense, look at, and you want to go shorter than that 9 inches, then look at 300 blackout, look at suppressing it, and I think you're going to find yourself hitting a home run with that. So there you go. But yeah, let me see here. I saw somebody ask too about the FRT for the TX22. I might have my line on one pretty soon. I would just need to get a TX22. That would be pretty interesting. All right. Yes, I did hear about this, Northern Sawyer, that Tennessee is going to be teaching firearms safety in school from kindergarten to 12th grade, which is incredible and needs to happen. Absolutely. And so I had another super chat come through. Thank you, PX106L. Clint, I really appreciate you and want to encourage you to continue on YouTube. Love your content. That means a lot. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Not going anywhere. Might take a little bit of a break sometimes, like I did this recently. But I'm definitely going to still be here and putting out content. I'm getting into a little bit more regular content schedule, and I'm going to try to put out more content also. Like I said, with this podcast idea that Kelsey and I are thinking about right now. And, I'm thinking, Sundays being my typical releases, shooting content, might do something that's just kind of like talking to the camera like this. Later in the week, doing the podcast also at some point in the week, and just keep on keeping on, you know what I mean? Just putting out content out there, and all I'm really hoping to do is the entire mission, my entire goal with this channel is to get people excited about exercising and defending their Second Amendment right. That's it. And if I can get more and more people from different communities to come in and kind of see that and do that, and if I can get more people too that might be afraid of firearms to actually like take their first steps into a range, into a gun shop, try to get into it, going to a range with a friend, that's what I want to encourage people to do. So get out there, expand this community, and get people excited about their rights at the end of the day. And that's what I want to do. All right. So thank you. And that really does mean a lot. All right. Let's see here. Bud Guy, thank you again. What do you think companies making new M1 Grands and M14s? I honestly love it. Do it, man. People have been doing it with like the M1 carbine, the Thompson, things like that. Do it. Make some new production M1 Grands and M14s. I saw H&R came out with their M14, and I would have loved to pick one of those up, but I missed it. But at the end of it all, as long as they're making them quality, that they're not just casting crappy parts, they're actually making like solid guns. I think that's really cool and exciting. So do it, and I'll be happy to shoot them and try them and let you know if they work. So that's how I feel about that. And Solo Gordo, you tracking shell shock ammo? I plan on getting some to test out. 3,000 feet per second out of a Mark 18. What is it, like 24 grain or something? 3,000 feet per second out of a... No, I'm not tracking shell shock ammo, but guess I will be now because that is nuts. What would that be out of a 20-inch? I don't even know, man. I can't do that kind of math in my head. Shell shock ammo. Your next generation ammo source. All right. I might order a box or two and just try it and just see what this 5.56, what we're getting here. I've got my chronograph somewhere, so we can take it out and we can actually see what we're getting. So I think that'd be pretty interesting, but we'll leave it off there, guys. Okay. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. I didn't start keeping a rifle by the bed until we had a bump in the night. Turns out it was a skunk, which wasn't necessarily better. Started keeping my 300 Blackout pistol build, swapped it out for my 8.6 Blackout SBR build. Very cool. it's one of those things. It's again about having the capability. And I think that actually this is probably a great one to end it on, unless we keep getting more super chats, then it is what it is. Um, but at the end of it all, I want when it comes to home defense, I think pistols are a great option. I think shotguns are an option. I actually think that shotguns are the king of CQB. Absolutely. In the right application, which is in a team environment. I've said that many times before, and I will continue to say that. So, with that, when it comes to capacity, when it comes to maneuverability, when it comes to accuracy, reliability, it's going to be very difficult to, ergonomics and ease of use. It's going to be very difficult to overcome something that has become America's rifle, the AR-15 platform. You can put it into the hands of just about anybody, and they're going to be able to effectively use it. That's why the United States military has the M16, M4, and so many platforms that resemble the AR platform because, well, it's ergonomic, it's ambidextrous for the most part, and it runs. Can't blame you can't blame anybody for wanting to use that style of firearm for whatever it is that they intend to do. All you can do is just hope that, well, don't even hope, just be that asset like I mentioned before. Get trained with it and just be a good human. I think that's the overall objective. So the AR-15 I think is a wonderful platform, as do I think most of us here. We all probably have at least one or two. And if you don't, you might be looking at getting your first one. If you're not even interested in the AR platform whatsoever, why? Why not? But we can save that for next time because I'm signing out. Signing out now. Thank you, James, for the super chat. J954 had a super chat that you missed. Well, I can't do that. Clint, what's up, brother? I missed you at goals. James, you used the super chat to tell me that I missed a super. That's a good dude right there. J954, you should buy that man a beer. I missed you at goals. You're the busiest dude there by far. Did you get a chance to walk the floor? DA self-hill targets are cool. I haven't seen those targets. I did get the chance to walk the floor. Not like a lot. But the last day I was there at DS Arms quite a bit, talking with my buddy Mark over there. And my buddies over at Coreware were right next to that, so we were having some fun. But yeah, no, I I was definitely running around a lot, and yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I love doing that, so that was really cool. So thank you, J954. Shout out to James again for holding me accountable. That's hilarious. And then Jake, I think all of us love you and your content. That means a lot. Again, I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support and everything. And yeah, man. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. And you know, don't forget, I'm gonna direct a little bit of attention to my director of operations again because she's guys, my Kels she's been working her ass off, and you're gonna see some of the things that she's helped put together here very, very soon. And I'm Kels, if you're still watching, which I don't know if you are, thank you, sweetheart. Um, love you. And guys, get you a woman that encourages you to, encourages you to go out and do the thing you love. Or the thing that she loves. You know? Like all the ducks and the chickens and the horse and the cats, multiple cats. You know? And then all of a sudden you start loving it too. It's cool. That's all there is to it. Oh man, Tanner. See you tomorrow. Did I say I was doing something tomorrow? I mean, other than the Monadnock, are you coming all the way out from Minnesota to All right, Tanner. I'm curious. I'm curious now. We had Kryptonian AR15 as our version of the katana. There you go. Teamwork makes the dream work. Absolutely, Jedi Knight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, all right. Appreciate it, Tanner. All right, now I'm done. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you all for hanging out again this evening. And I like the idea of the Friday night live streams, but I'll probably stick to Thursdays. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. At least for a little bit while I start getting on my schedule for doing multiple, content releases throughout the week. So you guys just stay tuned. We got a lot of cool things coming up. Like I said, Kelsey's been working her butt off, planning some cool things in the future. And you guys will be seeing all of that really, really soon. God bless you guys. Thank you again so much. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you next time. And we'll just do the regular, little CM logo, whatever. Okay. All right. Y'all have a good